Hello. It's taken a minute to get everything all set all the time, but we're good. I'm here. Hello. How'd you do? Yeah, this time it was not anything to do with any of the streaming setup. This time it was my phone. My phone was like, I'll just freak out for a bit. Is that okay? And I was like, well, actually, no. Like, actually, I've kind of got stuff to do. But, like, okay. I guess I can just let you freak out for a bit. So, anyway, it's resolved. Everything is good. I am just. The world wishes not that I start alive on time during. Is the Uranus transit today? I think the Uranus transit might, or maybe it was yesterday during the same time as the new moon. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it's a learning curve, and there's stuff going on, and it's fine. Uranus doing stuff, Mars doing stuff. I have a chat. I have a chat here. I have a chair here as my chat holder now. And nope, yep, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Is the cats are getting on the chair, and they're like, oh, another angle from which to mess with the things and stuff. And I'm like, you are a cat. I do expect this. However, I would also love it if you didn't. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm so curious now. I gotta check the chart. I'm like, am I crazy about? Because what I'm talking about, Uranus station is what I'm. Uranus stationing direct after being retrograde for ages. I've been watching this Uranus transit. Hello, my son. You are the cat. You must perform the cat tax. Especially as you were the one who just moved the camera a moment ago. There's the cat tax. Oh, that was my fault. I put him down on the court. It's fine. Katie shenanigans are always paramount to everything else. There's no other way to exist without kitty shenanigans, of course. Okay. I'm gonna look at this chart now. This is great. I have so many things going on. I have chat, live monitoring, other chat, which is empty. That's fine. We'll see if people use the Instagram chat. If people don't use it, I'll probably just stick to YouTube. But that's fine. Hello, my boy. I must check the chart for now on my fancy astrology app. Yes, he's a good black kitty. Good boy. You can't. I'm still trying to like. The only sad thing about the hello, welcome to the other chat. The only sad thing about this camera angle is there's less good cat angles. You didn't have to move, you just had to sit down. That's fine. Okay. Are we? Yeah. Hey, I was right. Or at least within the last 24 hours, Uranus is stationed direct in Taurus. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2019, maybe late 2018. I'm not 100% sure. Uranus has been in Taurus for a while, and I've been watching it, and I'm just ready for it to leave. It's in my 7th house, which I have a much better understanding of now than I used to. I used to think, with all of the astrology stuff, there's just so many things to remember, right? So the thing that I thought that the 7th house was like love and relationships, because the 7th house is marriage. But what the 7th house actually is like marriage, partnerships, contracts. So like that's why marriage is part of it, because marriage is a contract, right? So yeah, I don't know what's up with YouTube being behind, but such is life. What you gonna do? But yeah, so my little astrology brain has been waiting for so long for Uranus to get out of Taurus, and it's not out yet. It's at 23 degrees. It'll get out later this year in like July or something, I think. I'm just ready for it to go. Okay, cool. Yeah, hang here. That's cool. You'll get the more updated version of everything anyway. I was trying to, again, as part of the learning curve, I was trying to make it let me set moderators before the live, and then it was like, I shall not let you do that. And I was like, oh hey, that's rude. So I still need to actually set up mod permissions for the moderators, but it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna shut that screen off now. So I could keep talking about astrology things, but I don't think that's necessarily what we're going for tonight. I don't know what we're going for tonight. As usual, I've just taken it on faith at this point that if I plan anything for the live, that thing will happen, and other things will also go wrong. Until I switch topics anyway. So at this point, I'm just coming into every live with, I might have a vague idea of a topic, but I'm not outlining anything. I'm just going. How is new moon stuff for everybody? Was everybody vibing with new moon time? Do I need to drop? Can someone drop the link in the Discord? I know that it does the thing, that it does the auto publish. It's fine if people are just like watching other lives or something, but I'm just like, yeah. Yeah, I was all like, new moon, lunar new year, I'm gonna do all of this stuff. I'm gonna do cool witchy things for lunar new year, new moon, like just having finished the Hecate thing, all that stuff. I was like, I will do stuff and I'll figure it out later. And then yesterday happened, and not only did I not do stuff, everything just went. Everything exploded yesterday. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. But yesterday was rough. Yeah, I know some of the other people from some of the other communities that I'm in are also live. I'm just like, I guess everybody's just feeling the vibes tonight, which is fine. I can yap no matter how many people are here. I actually was thinking, I know we've done like very brief in Sally's live tonight, yeah, and do I validate deity communications in consults? I can do that. Yeah, I mean, we can do just about anything. You know me. I'm down to talk to deities pretty much all the time. I mean, it depends on exactly what you need, but I can't think of a circumstance where I wouldn't be able to help you out there. So yeah, if you want to send me a DM too, just to like make sure that we can cover what you want to cover, then we can do that. But yeah. You've got my contact. You got me. Hello. How you doing? Was it Lady to you? I don't know what your name means, but hello. Yeah, I would love to see you, Lynn. It would be a lovely time indeed. I was having a moment earlier too where my southernness is kind of part of my spirit stuff, right? Like, not fully, not super deeply part of my spirit stuff, but it's definitely there. Like, I make jokes all the time about being an Appalachian grandpa and all this stuff, right? I don't make them on live so much, but I do in my personal life. I'm like, I'm just out here being an Appalachian grandpa all the time. Oh, that's cool. I like that. I realize you guys can't see which chat I'm looking to. Lady Tennessee. Yeah, that's awesome. I like it. But yeah, the southern vibe and just like, especially the Appalachian part, but obviously I'm in Atlanta. I'm not actually like up in the Appalachians, you know? But just overall, they really do hit. Oh, I am young grandpa. That could very easily. Now, if I were a rapper, which I will never be a rapper, but if I was, and there's not already somebody called Young Grandpa, I would take it. But yeah, so anyway, all of that was just to say my southern accent might come out because I was kind of in that brain. I got one of my favorite bands is from this area, from like the greater Atlanta area. And they're all big and fancy now, and they're in Nashville and doing all kinds of things. But their new album dropped last week. I've been listening to it a lot, so I've been in very bluesy southern vibes. Little grandpa, yeah. Little young grandpa on top. Just keep adding to it. At what age is young grandpa just normal grandpa? You know, we're starting to ask some logistical questions I simply don't have the answer to. Oh no, it's doing the thing again, isn't it? Where anytime I bow my head, it zooms in on my forehead. For effect, it's entirely intentional, I promise. But yeah, oh yeah, I think Persephone's been reaching out. Yeah. Did I talk about this on here at the same time that Hecate was like, we should start working together more? I think I did. At the same time, Persephone was also like, actually, yeah, if you would also like to start working more seriously with me, we should probably do that. And I was like, oh, okay. Everybody's hopping on the train. That's fine. Y'all are great. Just as long as everybody understands I can only do so much spiritual work at a time, as long as we've got some boundaries established here, folks, we're good. Like, I mean, Persephone lives in a similar place to where Hermes lived before I started working with Hermes, where I love Persephone. And I have done stuff for her before. I hadn't done stuff for Hermes before, but she's just such a vibe. And I'm also, in terms of like elemental stuff and seasonal stuff and everything, I'm so fall oriented, and like in the death of everything is like my favorite time. Shocker that the Scorpio Sun, Scorpio rising, witchy motherfucker that I am would be totally digging the death time, right? But, excuse me, regardless, it's just, when I've done my various like levels of underworld exploring, it's always like I had whole meditation sessions where I was just like, I'm going down here. Oh, Persephone's got time to talk. She wants to talk to me. That's sick. And I would just go and like, yeah. I know, yeah. Also, me, the one with the bones, the one that has used bones in like 3 out of 3 of the last lives, of the most recent lives, is into like death themes. Crazy. And the underworld person into whoa, wild shit. Death and chaos seems to be a theme in our communities. Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's, in a certain sense, if you're anywhere in the spiritual realm, you can't get away from death anyway, right? Like, even, doesn't matter if you're Christian or any of these other things, unless your spiritual belief is like fully atheist, like aspiritual, like you just believe in nothing, and you're gone. When you do die, you're gone. Then you have no reason to focus on anything death related. But all the rest of us all have some pretty heavy death lore, no matter what the tradition is or what thing you're looking at, you know? It's just always, it's hard to avoid. So, but I think as far as like death and chaos being heavy themes, the feeling of chaos and the everything that feels like that has been increasing. And I obviously don't just mean in America, and I don't just mean in the last 8 to whatever it's been, 12 weeks. I don't just mean since November, you know, like, I mean, for the last like years, last like 2 to 3 years, the like themes of, okay, this is getting into tarot stuff, but like having, I will come back to some of these comments because I see cool stuff happening. Right, this idea of like people being afraid of the death card, and then once you start to read tarot, then you're just like, oh, that's like, it's not a chill card, but it's not a bad card, right? Like, it's normal to get the death card in just like a normal tarot reading. But everybody's afraid of the tower, and part of what happens in the tower and part of the energy of the tower is that specifically chaotic destruction, right? It's a lightning strike. It's an instantaneous, like, scene where the guy is still falling. Like, this just happened. And sort of the implication, actually, of the tower card would be, as a reader or as a recipient of it, like, as someone viewing the card, you're not in the tower. So it's not that, like, as chaotic and intense as it is, it's not that you're the guy falling to his death off of the top of the tower. It's that you just watched a tower get struck by lightning and split in half. So your world is changed. You just experienced some shit, or you're about to. But thematically, your world is not destroyed. It's just the thing in front of you is destroyed, and you think about everything and experience those things differently afterwards, right? So, see what have I been ignoring here? Oh, I see my guides have been really active with me lately, but I'm still not sure whom I should speak about the different gods. That's fair. I would always say, like, I mean, you do have a main guide. Everybody has sort of like a primary guide who are like more focused on you. So if you've got to ask questions about gods, talking to your guides is a great way to look at that, you know? It's a great start, at least. I can talk about that more. I just want to catch up on the rest of the comments before I start rambling too far. Pitched goth knit nights in the cemetery today. Yes, that's awesome. I don't know why I got so excited about that, considering that I don't knit or crochet. But I mean, we've talked about this. I could learn. Why not? Honestly, everybody else I know seems to either knit or crochet. So why wouldn't I learn one of those and then join goth knit nights in the cemetery? Whenever the lo-fi stops, I'm just like, I must start making noise. There's a company called Chaos Fiber. Oh no. Oh no. What do I know about the Mesoamerican Pantheon? Anything. I will say, Mesoamerican Pantheon, I know little teeny tiny bits. It's one of those things where I start to get unsure how much digging I should do. Not because, like meaning that from a place of respect. And I think this is, honestly, I think this is a pretty weak take that I have. But I'm like, if I know I should not be practicing it, I tend to get more iffy about studying it in detail, just because I'm like, that's so cool. And I'm like, it's not like I don't have the self-control to not do it. And also, technically, you know, it's like one of those, if a god reaches out to you, then it's hard to... You can obviously say no to them, like, which, by the way, I don't talk about that enough. If a god reaches out to you and you don't want to do their shit, you can just say no. Like, it's the same as everything else. But I was thinking about talking about weird shit that gods have asked me to do today. Not today, but in the live. But yeah, I do really like hearing Incan mythology, Mayan mythology, whatever. Like, whatever I can get, I really enjoy hearing when I come across it, but it's just not something that I seek out too much. I have a friend, actually. I wonder if I could get him. Oh, that would be cool. If I don't know. He doesn't have a social media presence, but he does. His primary, like, spirit and deity relationships are out of Aztec Pantheon stuff. So I might ask him. He went to Japan with me. Super cool dude. But yeah, so just all that to say, I know little teeny tiny bits, but not enough that I would feel comfortable speaking about it like I know what I'm talking about, you know? In the kitchen, turn around and saw the onion on the counter. Yes, yes, plant onion. What is the... There's lore, there's onion lore. What is the onion lore? I feel like this is... Yeah, absolutely. Please DM me. There's something cool about onions, and that's such a silly thing to say. That's buried so deep in my little witchy lore brain. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that up. It's just the remnants of something about when an onion sprouts and you plant it. Something I can't remember what it is. But yeah. I understand. I have killed plants before. It's sad, and it makes you want to plant less plants. I haven't talked about... I don't garden much, but I want to more. And the best experience that I had doing any kind of gardening or anything was... when I was still in St. Augustine, I had a little teeny tiny strip of a yard. Well, we had a yard, but we had two little tiny strips of flower beds in front of the house. And I planted a whole row of moonflowers in the front and a whole row of sunflowers in the back. And boy, oh boy, I loved that. I'm like, I don't know how my roommates felt. I think they liked it. But I just loved looking outside and seeing my little row of sunflowers every day. And especially if I was coming home from class or work or whatever, and the moonflowers were open and everything. Just, so good. If I remember the lore, can I share it? Yeah, I will. I feel like it's from... I've talked about this podcast before. It's called New World Witchery. Same guy, the guy that I learned about reading playing cards from. That's where a lot of my witchy lore, starts. And that's one of those things where, if something really catches me, then I'll go in deeper and try and do some actual research on it. But yeah, I think it's something from there. So they have a blog and everything, so I might try and find that later. It is it's the kind of thing I will forget if... So remind me if you really, really want to see it. Oh, yeah. First human life was as a gifted farmer. I mean, hey, you can still try. You can still learn more stuff. It's the funny thing about planting stuff to me. I was kind of joking about I've killed a bunch of plants. Realistically, I've only killed 2 plants I think ever, and they were actual reasons for them. So I'm if you feel bad about it, if you don't feel great about it, you can just learn. It takes persistence to learn stuff, but it's just plants are science, so you can figure it out. I don't know. This is not... I don't need to give you a pep talk on how to plant plants, but you just... You know what I mean? I find it amusing when people are I have a black thumb, because I'm well, I get that it's hard to take care of plants, because it is sometimes hard to take care of plants, but it's just science. It's okay. It's fine. You figure it out or not, and it's okay. Yes, thank you, Kayla. Please do remind me. Oh my gosh. I am still... Oh, I never grounded before this live. Oops. Hold on. One second, please, as I I'm not super flying away, but I will be much more centered. Yeah, the ADHD, out of sight, out of mind, that's precisely... Yes, that's precisely the thing. Okay. If everybody wants to do it with me... Anybody who's not feeling grounded right now, let's all together. Anybody who wants to, take a deep breath in. And out. And keep in mind, whenever you're doing grounding stuff, you always kind of want to be... You want to put energy down and pull energy back up. You know, like it's great to envision it like sticking a stake in the earth, or like having roots go down, or whatever version of like going down into the earth you have. But just like make sure you get some stuff back up. You gotta know that's part of the grounding. I'm just saying. Okay, grounding tangent done. And cut. Okay. I'm still so that's what I was gonna say. I was literally gonna comment on how the energy is still pretty. The energy's not completely unhinged. It's it's better than it has been the last 2 weeks, and I'm obviously not the first person to say that, especially last week. But the energy this week is still pretty like crunchy, to me at least personally. Again, just like having a bunch of plans for the new moon and then getting to the new moon and having the entire day just kind of explode in various ways. And I was like, this has become a rest day. No witchcraft for me, only sleep. And by sleep, I mean lots of work and then crashing and then no more of any of that. Just potato time, couch potato time. Yeah, prickly or sticky, yeah. I know. I do like, this is a funny, it's funny to me. I get really specific about which words are the right words. So I feel like for me it's been crunchy, and then like, it's almost like, this is certainly an analogy. When you take like chips or something, or just like something that you know can break and is crispy and it's fine, and you like break them so much and they crunch so much that it just becomes this weird little dust. But it's like, and it's no longer satisfying to crunch it. There's no more chip left to crunch. It's just dust now. But also that means there's no more like sharp points to get yourself stuck on, or get like to stick into your thumbs or your whatever. That's how today has felt. It's like we're still working out and crushing down all the little brittle, crystally chunky bits into the like no more pointy. So I think my use of crunchy is specifically to get down into the like we're pulled down, we're pulled together. It's fine. Like we're not pulled together all the way, but the sharp red edges, these sharp edges have been rounded out. You know? I can still joke on the dry, dusty chip. Valid. As could I, to be honest. I've done similar things. But kitten being adorable off camera. But yes. So I'm just, that's my logic here for using crunchy. Tuesday Def had a few imploding moments. Yeah. Anxiety hasn't been as bad or consistent, but when it hits, it hits hard. Yeah, that's how I was this morning, and that's how I was yesterday. It was just when it hits, it hits. Like, no, thank you. Even with meditating, even with grounding, like before work today, I just sat in my chair and I meditated for a few minutes, and I was just like, okay, we're gonna do some energy clearing. We're gonna just chill out. We're going to be productive today. Everything's going to be fine. It's not going to be like yesterday. And then it didn't take an hour. It took like 30 minutes. And I was like, nope, high energy, high intensity. Got to do this, got to do that. Everything is top priority. Must go now. And I was like, it's fine. It was nice while it lasted. I eventually had another moment and had another like meditation, calm down. Everything's fine. We got there. It took a minute. Pufferfish. Oh my gosh. Pufferfish is good. Pufferfish is very good. I like pufferfish. It says so many annoying moments, but no devastating ones. Yeah, that's fair. I think it is weird to me still sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, we do all experience like the energy of the world, and especially of like this country, but like we all have enough of a shared experience of the energy going on out there and down here and everywhere else that it does tend to line up, at least like on a broad strokes level, right? We're all having very different specific small things, but the big shit is just like weirdly consistent. And again, and that's why I believe in astrology. That's not why, technically, but that's one of my like supporting arguments for astrology. It's just like, it's true that it's like a really small sample size. You're working with a data set of people who are already spiritual, if they're in a live like this, right? Or if they're in the Discord or whatever, or another community Discord. But it's helpful to be like, hey, we are all actually experiencing the same thing. And if you can look at the astrology and you can find a reasoning for it, then that's even more helpful to me, at least. Yeah. The hyper is active. The hyper is active. You are correct. And the active is exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. There was a moment today where I was just like, same thing, because of getting all the crunchy bits out, rolled out into their weird little chip powder that I'm so obsessed with. There was a moment today where it's just like, I do want to do the live. I want to chat. I want to like hang out with everybody. I want to talk about whatever we want to talk about. But man, there's just been so many little like obnoxious points to everything, including my phone being weird right before this live. And I was just like, I've had enough of the same energy. I've had enough of it. I appreciate that it's there. But if we could just resolve all that, that'd be great. The amount of reorganizing and furniture moving I've done. Yeah, I have also, actually, I guess that's been like a longer term thing, but the last month or so, I think, but partially because it's one of those things where like, it's something you can control, right? But I've been like decorating a little bit more. I've been like, I finally hung some pictures that I've been meaning to hang for months. I finally hung this big mirror that's nice that I like. I finally went and got the supplies to refinish said mirror, which I've been meaning to do for literally 2 years, because it was one of the things that I inherited, and it's pretty, but it's big and it's bulky and it's like hard to carry. So it's just like, I finally went and got the stuff to refinish it. Like, stuff has been moving in the home improvement category because it's something that I can handle. It's something that I can control amidst all of the everything else that's going on. What is this getting things done you speak of? Valid. I'm not saying I'm getting everything done. I'm just saying the things in terms of my cozy little nest spot are improving, because it's important enough to me to have the cozy little nest spot be good. Lately. Last month has been a total rehaul of my place. Nice. Bravo. This is a significantly better solution for the chat, having it on the chair so that I can read it, but I still feel like I have to take too long looking not at the screen. All those shows where two main characters are going through the same plot but in different ways. Yeah! I was thinking this. Actually, what I really wanted to talk about for the live tonight, and then I was like, I probably shouldn't do that because it requires people having read books and watched movies and TV shows and stuff. But I was just like, and I could do it with some better known, more popular movies and TV shows and things. But I wanted to do the like sort of spiritual analysis of systems that exist in different fictional worlds in media. Because I finished the Mistborn trilogy that I was talking about, that I was reading / listening to audiobook, and I'm just I love the way the magic system works. I love the way that they address deity in those books, like specifically Mistborn Era 1's the first 3 books, which again, Brandon Sanderson, great writer, so many books figuring out what book to read next is like a separate hobby. Anyway, it's like a separate hobby from reading the books. There's so many videos and blogs and things about what order to read the Brandon Sanderson books in. Regardless, digress. I really, really enjoy the way that up until like the last like 10 pages or something, there's like they address deity really, really well in a way that I think is pretty accurate in terms of like big cosmic forces, and then they kind of like resolve it in a way that I found slightly annoying. Not bad writing, but in the way that, oh, I was so vibing with what you were doing, and then this is how you resolved it. But it's on a spiritual level, but it's fine. It was still really good. Yes. I know, I was like, that's why I mentioned it, because I knew you were here, and you're just like the only person that I know that has read these books. So I was just like, the resolution of Powers into its final state is good, but I was just like, it was better. It was a more accurate and useful, I thought, description of the energies before it was resolved. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm not alone. I'm so glad. I missed chats again. I subscribe to the philosophy of stuff that gets done is the thing that I use to procrastinate what needs to get done. Also valid. That has also definitely been happening a little bit. But for the most part, I've been good at actually getting things done without it being specifically procrastination. It might be tangentially or ambiently procrastination, but it's not specifically me procrastinating on stuff. Oh yeah, are we all ADHD? I think we all. This is one of the other things. This is one of the things I have been getting done. Is I've been looking into getting an actual assessment and diagnosis because that would be really helpful for work, given the ADHD of it all. So yeah, I think I'm getting stuff done by getting that done and getting the process started. But Lord Jiminy, does it take so much executive function to do the thing that will hopefully eventually help with the executive function. Yeah. Yeah, no, the world building in the Mistborn books is so good. I've started the next I've started my next Brandon Sanderson book, and I like it. Everything that I could find, again, trying to parse out which book to read next, was Warbreaker is like a decent one to read next, and I'm like 30 minutes in and I get it, but I'm not sold yet. but it's just because Mistborn is so good, so good. Insert diagnosis song. How many Doom bins have I emptied recently? One. And some of the stuff got put away, and some of it is still on the floor. So I've emptied one Doom bin and created a separate Doom pile out of half of the objects, but the other half got put away. So I did pretty good. All things considered, I did pretty good. Yeah. I have so many, like, the best that I've done, this is, again, all of you guys will relate to this, the best that I have done in terms of, like, organizing stuff has just been, I have taken some of these drawers, I don't know if you can't, guess you can't see it on Instagram, but some of the drawers in my little desk slash, originally it was a dresser and now it's a desk because I took out some of the drawers, but, like, I am trying to have less fully ambient junk drawers and more specific, this is this entire category of item drawers. So they look like junk drawers. The inside is not organized at all. But the category of items are mostly contained to the one chaos drawer. And that's going great for me so far. And I don't have to empty them. I just have to, as long as they're not too full for me to see everything that's in there, I don't have to fully empty them. And I can just have my little bin of consolidated my little bin of curated doom. That's what I'll call it. It's not a doom pile. It is a drawer of consolidated and curated doom. Yeah. Kind of empty. Yeah. Someone give me an idea of what to do instead of actually doing the thing that you need to do? No. I will be the sassy, supportive friend and say no. I will not give you other things to do that are not that. Just got moved to the other Doom bin that I have roaming the house. Yeah. Yeah. Russian nesting dolls in the Doom piles is also incredibly valid. Yeah. I've also, speaking of altar space, I'm gonna have to figure out a solution for all of these new deities that I work with. The Hecate stuff fitting... Oh, my Hermes box is a little open. The Hecate stuff fitting right here is great, in the little... having the altar box. But I also don't have that much more room for more altar boxes either. I have 3 floating shelves, 2 altar boxes, 2 altars on my actual dresser, Apollo and Artemis, and then I have a mini Hermes altar out there, and I have the mini altar to the Buddha entity that I have my, like, sort of working relationship with. And those 2 are on the same shelf, and that's great. But I now have to figure out where to put Persephone, and I have to figure out where to put Odin. Just like... Some of these altars are going to have to start getting consolidated. Realistically, it's totally fine to combine altars. Like, one of mine here is one that makes sense to me to be consolidated, where it's my ancestor altar, but it's also my angel shit. So, Azrael, Michael, and Raphael are up there with... And also St. Joseph. Helpful dude. Somewhat left over from when I was trying to sell the house. Because I didn't want to do that thing where you bury a statue of St. Joseph upside down. Because I was like, I'm sure that works, but that's just not... I don't want to bury a saint upside down until my house sells. So I just sort of talked to him instead, because I can do that, because I'm a medium. So those made sense to me to consolidate. But I'm like, I have like my Jupiter altar here, and like Jupiter might have to give up some space. Jupiter and Odin, that might have to happen. Jupiter and Odin might have to share an altar. They're both kings of gods. They're both kings of pantheons. They can duke it out, and they can share space. It'll be fine. I was looking for enabling, not support. Not today. Everybody else can enable you, but I will attempt to just aggressively support you instead. Organizing old Scrabble tiles, honestly, that kind of sounds like a vibe. I used to... Okay, here's my... I don't know why I enjoyed doing this, but I really enjoyed it. I used to really enjoy sorting my coins, because I would have a giant jar of change, right? Like, I don't mean like in like middle school and high school, you know? And I would dump them all out, and if I had, which at a certain point I did, a like plastic surface, like one of those roller plastic floor mat things you put under a desk chair when it's on carpet to make it roll better, I had one of those, and I would dump all my coins out on that, and then I would shing, shing, shing all of the coins into their appropriate piles. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that too much. And then once everything was thing, 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 and like flung into its appropriate pile, then I would stack them, and I would have my little stack of coins. I wouldn't roll them. I would just stack them. Because it's just that was just the vibe that I needed. Matt has an organized doom pile of deities. I've been attacked. And also you're not wrong at all. I could never attempt to refute that. More people out. Yeah, Kayla, you have more. Yeah, you have more consolidated altars, but you have like everybody. So I don't think either of us should feel bad about it. But you have. I've seen that room. There are so many candles for different people. But yes, you've done a much better job of consolidating everybody than I have. I am now contractually required to collect all of the deities, and I can never let any of them go. I have to be working with all of them at all times, and and this is actually part of why I say that Jupiter and Odin can also share an altar, because technically, I'm not doing any work related to Jupiter stuff right now, and he never like reached out and started talking to me. He was always just Jupiter. Like the Jupiter work started specifically as astrological, and it's still mostly that. So it's not really like an active working relationship. It's just like me doing essentially astrological remediation, which is a whole topic that I definitely don't understand well enough to really talk about in depth. But it's cool. It's just like mitigating some of the sticky parts in your chart, basically. And my Jupiter placement is not the best. So anyway, I was doing that, and that's how the Jupiter thing started, and that's how Jupiter got an altar at all. And I do have a Jupiter talisman, so like that's also part of the reason that I have a Jupiter altar, so that the talisman has a place to live. That's like a sacred space. But yeah, Jupiter's probably taken up more than his share of room, given the number of people that I need to start including. And again, I don't actually work with Odin. We just have this weird... We just have this relationship that we have. So, you know, it's just... Odin and I are... Me to Odin. What are we? Odin and I are just out here. Am I going to the next Sacred Spaces? I don't honestly know right now, to be so for real. Did they announce the date for the next one? I'm not going to... I know I'm not going to the, like, West Coast thing that they're doing. I will know more whenever I know more. I am currently not... I do not have any more details than the general public. Yeah. No, deities, no, I could not probably work with more than one at a time. Also completely fair. Like, again, realistically, the people who, like, the thing that they do and the thing that they talk about, and a lot of their content is based around deity work, will very much tell you, oh, it's on the site. Then maybe. We shall see. I think, do I have other stuff going on in August? I don't know if I have schedule conflicts or anything, but maybe. Yeah, the people who, like, deity work is their thing, or, like, and even also, like, god spousing, stuff like that, they'll be the first to tell you, working with deities doesn't have to be that long term. Like, you can have your set time, right? And then you can let them go, and then you can take down the altar, and it's fine. Like, you know, you don't have to be like me and just keep altars for everybody. I mean, again, I'm not even technically working with everybody here. I don't technically, like, I do, my angel shit is mostly related to Azrael. Um, but I like talk to Michael sometimes, and I talk to Raphael sometimes. They don't realistically need altar spaces. No angel really needs an altar space. Angels don't really give a shit about altars, but I want them to have that space. I want that space for them, so I don't take anything. I don't take these things down, even though we're not like actively doing stuff. You know, so that's just me. It's part of, and it's the vibe. It's my aesthetic. I enjoy it. Hello, Vesta. I think pretty much everybody else is on Instagram right now, but I'm happy to see you. I see you got your username changed. Bravo. I'm fully just rambling about deity stuff and everything else right now. Yeah, because you got card thrown in hard and fast on the having all of the deities. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Yeah, I will, once I have a clear idea of what may or may not be happening with sacred spaces, then we can talk about setting up a meetup or something, potentially, just depending on, it just depends. But yes, if we can make it work, it would be really fun to have like a proper meetup. That would be awesome. I feel like this entire live has just been me dancing to the music. I'm so just vibed out on the lo-fi. Matt, do angels listen to prayers and directed fully to them? Yes and no. It depends a little bit. Depends a little bit on the angel. Some of like the less busy ones are going to be more likely. Like angels are the best multitaskers, kind of. I have found. So they can sometimes listen directly to things, and then there are some things that they just don't need to listen directly to, but they'll get the message, right? Like there are like associates of Michael that are fully capable of handling certain things that you might be asking Michael to do, that are like angels that work under him. So like you don't always need Michael, but if you address Michael and you make it clear what you need, someone who works with or for Michael can potentially handle it for you. So it's not always this like and this is my understanding at least. The like specifically with Azrael, everything that I've seen with him and how he works, he essentially has like a bunch of clones of himself. Because nobody else really does what Azrael does. So in his case specifically, he just like takes so many different sort of subdivided pieces and just goes, all right, go. I should say nobody in the like related Christian pantheon stuff of like angels and everything, angels and saints and stuff. You could argue Santa Muerte. I would not. I'll just tell you now, Santa Muerte and Azrael do not work together. That's not a relationship that's particularly strong. At least not in those discrete forms. You could argue that they're still related because death stuff, but regardless. So in terms of the actual question, yeah, like a lot of times the angel, if it's one of the, like even if it's Gabriel, like less people go to Gabriel than go to Michael. I think realistically the main thing is if you're trying to get to Michael might not always be the one listening, but you'll be heard and the thing will get done. Essentially. The reason I ask is my culture was told if you're in danger, need protection, call it Michael or your archangel. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like in that context that you're talking about, I would reach out to Michael. That is the correct, that is the correct thing to do. That is the expected thing. We get into interesting, weird stuff as far as how I understand like guardian angel things. Because I don't like it just gets so into the nitty gritty on that. Because I don't think you technically have to have the same guardian angel for like your entire life, and also like everybody has a guardian angel, but like everybody has a guardian angel because everybody has spirit guides. So like your guides, your guardian spirit might not actually be an angel necessarily. Um, I love the complete separate fiber crafts conversation happening in the Instagram chat as I'm just talking about angels. I do want to come back and read this in a second. But yeah, so in terms of broader angel stuff, Michael is the one that people would go to first for protection. So the point I'm talking about still kind of stands, where like Michael is not literally the only person who can protect you, but if you are putting out a like call, prayer, whatever for protection and directing it to Michael, you will get something associated with Michael, if not Michael himself, in protecting you. You know? So that is definitely like the taught thing. That's the tradition for sure. Okay, I'm gonna catch up on this too. I'm totally down to keep talking about angel shit. I'm always down to keep talking about angel shit. I just want to catch up on this other chat that I've been completely ignoring. Get Matt to enter the fiber community and have a sit and knit. That's good. That's very good. Okay, good. I really do love the little fiber arts tangent. Okay. The Scrabble titles fit in your tiny box now. Yay! Yeah, definitely. The like everybody has. I do think that's always been how I've sort of thought of the like everyone has a guardian angel thing. Is that like your guardian doesn't have to be an angel, even if you're Christian. Frankly, I can just see the delayed thing of me just dancing, rocking to the music. I'm just killing myself, I guess. Not like I'm making myself laugh with my goofy movements. Super fan of body doubling. Me too. That's part of why these lives exist, especially the Tuesday ones. But anyway, yeah, I'm big on. I think a lot more people. This is gonna be a hot ass take. I think a lot more people probably interact with actual demons than realize it, because demons are really good protectors. This is not me saying, if you don't know nothing about demons, to go start messing with it. I am not encouraging that necessarily. I am saying you've probably interacted with a demon, and it's probably been just fine. And maybe not directly. Like, you may have been, like, in the same room as one, and it's fine, because they have a job to do that is not eating you. You know? I think y'all can probably assume my stance on this based on everything else, but I'm just like, I work with angels. I also have spoken to demons plenty of times. Like, it's just like, they're not even, they don't even, like, hate each other. Like, they're fine. It depends. It depends on the demon. Depends on the context. It depends on what they do. This is another one of those things where, like, I don't actually actively work with demons. I am not, if you're curious, the people who do are generally referred to as demonolators. That would be, like, the hashtag to look up and see more info about it. And it gets into, stuff about the, I would mess it up. Yeah. Yeah, we're not always body doubling, but I think specifically the sigil lives are a bit of a body double thing, depending on it. That's a way you can use it, yes. But yeah, no, with in like the demonology thing, it gets into like all of the demons of the Goetia, and they all have their specific things, and it gets in on very specifically like Solomonic magic has a lot to say about both angels and demons, and that whole realm of ceremonial magic gets really deep into it. The way that a demonolator would work with a demon and the way that a Solomonic magician would work with a demon are completely different, because Solomonic magic has you like call and bind and basically force the spirit, demon, whatever, to do what you need it to do based on what you already know it can do, versus like a demonolator would work with a demon more like someone like me works with the Hellenic pantheon, or apparently Odin also. So yeah, it gets, demon stuff is super interesting, and it gets in deep and weird in like, it's definitely not a chill place. Demon magic and lore and all that stuff, it's definitely not chill, but you're also not just gonna immediately get nixed, you know? So I'm just saying, I don't go super deep into it, but like, I am aware of it enough. I know people who are like, that's the thing that they do, and they're good at it, or one of the things that they do. Actually, the person I have in mind, I've shared some of their stuff before, and I think I even talked about them literally a week or two ago. Larissa Mystic on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. She is primarily Hellenic polytheist. That's her main deal, priestess of Artemis. And her secondary thing that she does is demonolatry. And she works with demons. She talks about it on her content. I won't go too deep into it because she'll explain it better anyway, if you're curious. But yeah, it's cool shit. Again, maybe not my vibe as much, but like, it's also like, I have deities, I have angels, I'm not looking for a new group of entities to go deal with. But all that to say, like, most of the demon stuff is just overblown, and it's fine. Not all of it. Some of it is appropriately blown. But most of it is overblown. Today is body doubling day, other days is sit and chill. Yeah. And I'm back to dancing to the music. Yeah. Wait, what? My ADHD coworker gaslit me that I can't be ADHD because body doubling doesn't work for her, and if it works for me, then I'm clearly not ADHD. Why? That's wild. Okay. My friends have had negative entities hang around them in their homes. They were labeled demons, so I haven't. The feelings about those labels. Yeah, see, okay, this is... Okay, we have started... I definitely just spiked the mic. Oh well. We have started one of Matt's many rants. Just because you have a negative experience with a spirit or entity does not mean it's a demon. Angels can also be huge dicks, and they're so blind to the way that a human mind works that they can do terrifying shit. Angels will do shit that makes us freak out, and people will be like, that was a negative experience. Obviously it was a demon. I was like, no, that was Jared the angel. Like, you do not need to be blaming Lucifer for what Jared just did. Jared, in his khakis with his flaming head and 4,000 eyes, is just as capable of freaking you out and giving you a bad experience. I will cut the rant there, but any time that people are just like, there was a bad experience, so it's a demon. And I'm like, no. Ooh, big taper candle spell. Good, 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 good. Finish the spell. Finish the candle. Yes. Is black Himalayan salt good for anything specific? I don't know. And I could tell you my impressions if I had any. Because my impressions of most crystals are usually not what's in the books. My impressions of most crystals are usually, I sat here with this rock, and then the vibe I got was this. And so if I had some black Himalayan sea salt, I could sit with the black Himalayan sea salt and see if it felt any different than anything else, any other form of salt, any other whatever. Because most people associate black things with protective things, like black salt as like a thing that witches make, and black tourmaline is protective and hematite is some protective, like, you could probably argue it's a little bit more protective, but also salt is already really protective. It's salt. We know and love salt for what it is, and that includes that it's good for protection. So you could maybe, my only hypothesis would be that it would be just a hint more protective, because people tend to label black crystals as protective. There's my 2 cents. If I had some, I would sit with it and meditate, and I would give you a better answer, but I do not have any to do such with. Yeah, demons could be bad news, but could be okay too. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Do angels growl and crouch like a canine in the dark? I would not expect them to. I will say, I'm just gonna throw this out there, Lid. If you're currently working with Hecate, Hecate likes big black dogs. I'm just saying. I've never really had any of those experiences with specifically words, with those kinds of like scary looking canine entities. Actually, my ex did from years ago. We were doing a ritual outside near the house at the time, and we sort of like split off. Like, we did part of a thing for a full moon together, and then she was gonna go chill actually, and I was gonna go do more, like get back into meditation, do more spell stuff, and in her time of her just like sitting there trying to vibe, she saw this like black spirit dog thing, which was huge for her because she didn't ever see, like, it was a big, like, it was like an insecurity of hers that she never saw anything, and she like saw this scary looking black dog thing, and we were just like, okay, we've got like 2 options here. That was either like we didn't know what it was, like maybe it was from like Lucifer or someone adjacent to that, maybe just because like that's the vibe that she got, but like also Hecate. So I would not assume that an angel would be crouched like that and in that kind of aggressive stance. Doesn't mean they can't. They definitely can. Most spirits can do some level of at least moderate shape-shifting stuff and changing form and changing appearance, to some extent. Like, not ghosts, but like most bigger spirits can do some level to change the form changing. But yeah. Oh wait, I going off on angels and the live froze. I realize this is an old comment. I need to like really catch up on chat here, but that's hilarious. But yeah, I would just say, if you got like canine looking thing, my first thought would probably be Hecate before anything else, and otherwise there are other things you can sort of scroll through to see, but Supernatural got me not to trust angels blindly like the church. Yeah, that'll do it. I still haven't watched Supernatural, but I will say that I appreciate that. Good job, show. Good job, television. I'd love to do a study of how much Supernatural got right. You know, maybe maybe the way that we get me to watch Supernatural is we make it into a little assignment, and Matt sits there through all 15 seasons of this show, or I think it's 15, right? Matt sits there through all 15 seasons of the show with a little notebook, and I will write down every single thing that they got right, wrong, and in between. And it will not be leisurely. I will be scrutinous. That's the word, right? It will be in on it. Can we also do a study on how much Stan Lee got? I do enjoy the multiverse, like, comic book stuff being like, that is how that would work, which means that's basically how that works. There should be a Supernatural class that would say fantasy or facts or a little bit of both. Yeah. That'd be a vibe. Oh, that was from like 30 years ago. I mean, it's still a thing. Just because it happened 30 years ago doesn't mean it's not something that's worth understanding, you know? Growling hat to my friends who did not practice. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely be interested to hear more about what was going on there, Lid, if you don't mind sharing. Tell me I can throw away the pile of scraps. You can throw away the pile of scraps. It's fine. As somebody who likes doing like woodworking and all these things, I would so often try to find things to do with the scraps, and I could never find good enough things to do with the scraps. You can throw away the scraps. It's fine. Okay, back to it is 15 seasons. Yeah, 15 seasons. Matt in a notebook analyzing Supernatural. Let's go. It's sticker scraps? Oh, definitely throw them away. Unless you're going to make a collage tomorrow, throw away the sticker scraps. Oh, that's right. The watch party in the Discord is a thing. Just don't get distracted by the people. It's a valid critique, honestly. I don't know. I will say, I've never looked at a screenshot from Supernatural and been like, yes, those two, I get it. I think my type in guys, in girls, in non-binary people, my type is just non-standard. I don't know if I'm that attracted to the Supernatural boys, but I get it. I understand. Can't do it into packs and go. Okay, they can be used for labels. That's a little different. That's fine. Do you think the writers had of Supernatural had writers who were psychic witches? I've thought about this for a lot of shows, right? Because again, we've had the discussion of XYZ show like knows too much, right? I just think a lot of writers do more channeling than they realize. I mean, that's obviously, again, that's very much the territory that Emily and Krista Lynn are in with all of their stuff. Like, to be writing and then to be channeling are so, like, the states that you're in for those two things are so similar already, whether or not you're even really trying to get into it. And that's why I'm annoyed at the end of Mistborn, because it feels like he was on it and he was on the pulse for that entire thing, and then he just made the resolution that he had to make instead of... Anyway. Excuse me. Oh, hello. I think they channeled that now. Yeah. Yeah, you get it, Lid. We're on the same page. Yeah, I just think most, especially because there's something about, I don't know if it's because you start with a particularly good concept, or if it's, especially, like, especially in the case of Supernatural, with making so many seasons, there's something about the point where you just have to keep making more, and you have to pull plot and content and things out of thin air, and all you have to realistically work with. It's like they did not start. There's no way they started the show with a full 15 seasons worth of blocked out plot points on an outline, right? So at some point you have resolved every plot point that you intended to have from the beginning, and every like secondary plot point and everything, and then you still have to make more stuff. So at some point, all you really have left are the characters, because the characters are the only like living thing left in the show to keep it moving. So at some point, you just have to sit in the world and the world you've already made, and the characters that already exist, and figure out, intake, create, export whatever comes in. And I think that's probably where you get into that very channel-y stuff in IMO. That's where I would expect that to be. I think that happened in season 4 or 5. That's what I would also expect. And that is what I do like about The Magicians, where I've obviously talked about that plenty of times before as well. But like, they only did 5 seasons, and there's definitely like there's peaks and valleys within those 5 seasons, but because those were based on a book series that was already done, and they did, obviously, like every TV show, they diverged from the books pretty strongly, even just by the second season, even by the first season, to be honest. But the show still had a pretty clear direction for those like 5 seasons. But because it was already living in this space of, we're in the normal world, and then the normal world has magic, and then we're also in this like world of Fillory, which is a separate but adjacent and connected world, and there's all these other sub worlds and stuff, right? Like, they were already in this multiverse of possibility kind of space with their 5 seasons of their show, based on whatever it was, like 4 books that Lev Grossman wrote. So they had much more structure to build on, but they also diverged enough that they had to kind of like pull in with, all they have left are the characters that they've already made, and all they have left is the world building they've already done. And so I digress. I've made my point. Yeah, no, Caitlin, you're good. No worries. We're chilling. I am. Oh, we're way over an hour. I didn't even know. Oops. I'll be wrapping it up here shortly, but I'm glad you're here. Life is lifing. Indeed. Yeah, if they didn't channel when they were, then they were guided to the info. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Die on the hill. That's Supernatural. Too much. Yeah. Someone sold their soul for the info needed. Bro, if somebody, honestly, for 15 seasons, like, I don't know if the show kept the same head writer for that long, but if you're the head writer of a show like that, I could see selling your soul for some information to keep it fresh. Oh, not the extra tongue. No. I'm not reading any of that out loud except for what I just did. Oh yeah, The Magicians was books first. I very much enjoyed them. They are very, very different from the show. There are whole characters that do and don't exist in those. Yeah, like Penny in the show and Penny in the book are not the same character, and there are other characters that are missing or that are merged or whatever. But yeah, they're good books. I figured the kiss was a reference. I just assumed, but I was still just like, nope. Nope. They had solid info and then built storyline from that and would go back more. Yeah. Yeah, I know. This is a fun hangout live was my goal. This was the like even compared to normal where I'm like I try not to have too strict of a plan, but I try to have something. Today I had nothing. Today was so long. We're just going to get on and vibe. We're not even They did keep the same head writer. Impressive. The first and last inch of a taper candle lasts forever. Valid. Okay, yeah, I am running out of steam on our hangout time, so I'm gonna grab the book. Grab the book. Don't knock anything over. Got the book. This month has felt forever. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, book. It's a chit chat kind of night. It is. It is. There's too much shit happening to be taking anything too seriously right now. That's if you don't have to. Yeah, this month has felt like 3 months. But it's fine. Right? It's fine. Okay. Everybody who wants in on the bibliomancy time, do the thing. You know what's up. Oh boy. All right, we're in for a long one. Thanks to all the January 2025 survivors, truly. Okay. This is passage 66, Rivers and Seas. Rivers and seas can rule the 100 valleys, because they are good at lying low. They are lords of the valleys. Therefore, those who would be above must speak as if they are below. Those who would lead must speak as if they are behind. In this way, the sage dwells above, and the people are not burdened, dwells in front, and they are not hindered. Therefore, the whole world is delighted and unwearied. Since the sage does not contend, no one can contend with the sage. Whoa. Mad slashes are so long, not fair. I know. It's I could go on a whole tangent about that. The things of like, because this is not just a me thing. I think it's all men. It's one of the things that like men just have longer lashes or something like that. Anyway, sorry. Back to book. It's like men have longer lashes and tend to have fuller lips or something else like that. Anyway. Yeah. Rivers and seas can rule the 100 valleys because they are good at lying low. They are lords of the valleys. Yeah. This is the way of the sage. This is the way the sage dwells above, and the people are not burdened, dwells in front, and they are not hindered. That's just so cool, and also so heavy on like taking like existing inflow is also like inherently taking on burdens, but unburdening other people and taking on those burdens in a like natural way. It's really interesting. Yeah, it also went over my head a little bit. That's why I'm like I'm actively breaking this one down. I'm gonna read the whole thing a second time, just instead of skimming through it, but because I do think it's good. Like I get it, but this is a dense one. Okay. Rivers and seas can rule the 100 valleys. Because they are good at laying low, they are lords of the valleys. That's where they live. Therefore, those who would be above must speak as if they are below. The rivers and valleys who would be above, I guess, must speak as if they are below. those who would lead must be, because it's like, this is the thing, right? It's a combination of the metaphor of rivers and seas, and also leadership and burden, right? Um, Therefore, those who would be above must speak as if they are below. Those who would lead must speak as if they are behind. In this way, the sage dwells above, and the people are not burdened, dwells in front, and they are not hindered. Therefore, the whole world is delighted and unwearied. Since the sage does not contend, no one can contend with the sage. I like it. It is dense, but I like it. It's just that whole thing of, yeah, if you are to lead, you must live as one of your people, precisely. That's what those who would be above must speak as if they are below. You must have the mind of, like, in order to be in charge and in flow, you must be aware of that which is beneath you, because it is never beneath you, right? Basically. Yeah, burden of keeping the power within from corrupting. Precisely. I like it. I think that, again, given the current state of the country, etc., I like it. It's because it's also, like, right, it's implying that leadership must be done from within the mind of the community, even if you are the leader, right? Just, I digress once again. Good shit. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Yes. I'm glad that those of the Tao's... The Wisdom of the Tao's reprimanding our current leadership. Correct. Yes. I mean, if you want to find somebody who is, like, the least Tao-abiding person in the world, or at least one of them, you can, you know. I'm glad that the Instagram side actually got some traction this time. Did you guys enjoy being on the Instagram side? Was that good? I like the YouTube too, but just the fact that everybody migrated over there this time, like, that's fun too. I like both. So whatever y'all like, they'll both be here for the foreseeable future. Regardless, thanks everybody for hanging out. I hope you all have a lovely night, lovely end of your week. There is enough going on. We all deserve a break. Eat some ice cream, read a book, have a coffee, whatever. You get the picture. Alright, regardless. Alright, thanks, guys. See y'all next time. Let's see, is that... Nope, that's not the right one. It's fine. Ending soon. Yay.